am Sue Webley. Welcome to another episode of Inspire. Ooh. Y'all, listen. I know you hear me, but you can't see me. You're about to see me in 2 seconds. Hey, y'all. Good morning to you. Welcome to another episode of Inspire. I am so glad that you are coming online. I see you coming in on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Instagram. Hey, Instagram. I want you to do me a favor and share our broadcast today, because I'm so excited about the conversation that I am getting ready to have with the amazing, honorable Shannon Frison. And if you've been following me any amount of time, you know that the honorable Shannon is the type of guest that I love to have on Inspire, especially as a Black woman, as a queer woman, as someone who walks unashamedly and boldly in their authenticity. And we need more of that in the world. If you just joined us, you don't know who I am and what this show is all about. I'm your host. I am Sue A. Webley. I am an award-winning minister, an author, an entrepreneur, and I believe in the power of words and witness. And that's what Inspire is all about. And so every week, every Saturday, we get to hang out with entrepreneurs and creatives and those who are making real, tangible change in their communities, in the world, to have conversations that not only inform, but also inspire, which is why we are named what we are named. Before we get into Good morning, my love. Before we get into our conversation today, I want to invite you to connect, follow, like, and subscribe. Now, if you've been following me on Cara Solutions LLC, when we started Inspire a couple years back, it was under my Cara Solutions brand. That brand is still going strong. So if you need live stream production, all that stuff, shameless plug, I'll talk about it a little bit later. You can still hang out with us on Cara Solutions LLC, but I am building up the Inspire with Sue W platform. So I invite you to follow me for the time that we are on Facebook and Instagram and Inspire with Sue W. You can also head over to our website at www.getinspired.live. There you can watch all of our previous episodes. You can find out more about the show, and you can subscribe to our newsletter. So that you don't miss anything that is happening with Inspire. We don't want you to miss a thing. And so we invite you to subscribe. I want to give a shout out. Well, you can't see my shirt. I have to do that. I want to give a shout. Mind your own beliefs. I want to give a shout out to Sister Reach for the shirt. Listen, we were there at the Faith Advocacy and Religion Symposium last week. Still recovering from that, but if you don't know what Sister Reach is a Black woman-led nonprofit that's based in Memphis, Tennessee. It advances human rights. It focuses on reproductive justice and health equity for women and girls of color, LGBTQIA+ individuals, and other marginalized communities. Its work includes providing reproductive and sexual health education, harm reduction programs like syringe exchange and transitional housing. Shout out to Sharice Scott, the executive founder and executive director of Sister Reach, and this is one of the T-shirts that they had. And yeah, with Baby and I, we were coming home from the symposium. They were like, "We like that shirt, yeah. Mind your beliefs, y'all. Okay, I mean, and I'm a minister. I'm an ordained minister, right? In the Christian faith, and I say Christian loosely. I know that's kind of weird. I just rocks with Jesus. I rocks with the ways of Jesus and the consciousness of Jesus. But my belief system doesn't override anybody else's, right? And while they're trying to say that, oh, this country was, is a Christian, it was based on Christian values and that's how it was founded. No, that's a lie. If you really read the Constitution, yeah, I know that's not true. But yeah, this is an affront to white Christian nationalism. Mind your own damn beliefs and let people live. Let people live. So shout out again to Sister Reach. If you want to learn more about Sister Reach, you can head over to their website at www.sisterreach/tn.org. sisterreach/tn.org. All right, let me fix my camera. I see you coming in. Now, this is a question that I asked. So if you have something in your cup this morning, I invite you to tell me what you're sipping on. Okay, so I'm laughing because Quita is telling our dog to go sit. So if you hear bells in the background, that's our doggy daughter running up and down. Because she only does that when I'm actually doing something. If I'm not doing nothing, she doesn't want to bother with me, but she's running up and down. So if you hear bells, that is her. But if you are so inclined, if you have something in your cup and you're watching us this morning, I want to invite you to let me know where you are watching from and tell me what's in your cup. Hey, Instagram, I want to hear from you as well. So y'all know I always have coffee in my cup. Now it is decaf, y'all, and I know some people say that's sacrilegious, but I love coffee. The caffeinated brand doesn't love me, so I had to do decaf. All right, so I always have decaf in my cup with some almond caramel creamer, and that's what I'm sipping on. So let me know what you are sipping on and where you are hanging out, watching us from this morning. We are not going to, as they say in the church, we're not going to belabor the time. We have an amazing guest this morning that I'm so excited to have joining us. And so today's conversation is about courage, right? It's about the kind that doesn't just break glass ceilings, but walks through the shards and keeps on going. We live in a time and this is what I love about Honorable Shannon. We live in a time when authenticity still comes at a cost. We're talking a little bit before we went live about some of being on social media and some of the hate, just the rhetoric that people post under her posts, right? Listen, as an out queer Black woman myself, I get that too, right? Many of us get that. But it does come at a cost, but it is so worth it, right? We live in a time where leadership requires both strength and tenderness. And for many of us, especially those of us who are Black, queer, or women, even showing up fully as ourselves can feel like resistance, right? And right now, numbers are really telling that truth. And I'm going to ask Shannon about this later on, but over 300,000, y'all, over 300,000 Black women have been pushed out of the workforce in recent months. And in April alone, more than 106,000 lost their jobs. The unemployment rate for Black women has climbed to 7.5%, widening faster than at any point since the pandemic hit, at any point since 2020, right? And I was talking to, I can't remember who I was talking to, but for as many women, Black women, right, that have been pushed out of the workforce as many white men have gained jobs, right? So Black women have been pushed out, white men have been bought in, right? These systems that we work in, right? These systems that we are living in, right? Living under, right? Don't see us, don't support us, and they certainly don't want to sustain us. So that's why today's conversation matters so deeply. My guest has spent her life navigating and transforming some of America's most rigid systems, the military, the legal system, and the cultural structures that tell us who belongs and who doesn't. Retired Justice Shannon Frison has worn many titles: Marine, Judge, Leader, Trailblazer, and now author. Her new book, Scar Tissue, A Tale of American Armor, traces her journey from the South Side of Chicago to the Massachusetts Superior Court, revealing how the scars she carried, some visible, some not, became lessons, wisdom, and strength. This is a story about power, perseverance, and identity, and about what it means to move through systems that were never designed for your thriving, right? Never designed for our thriving. So as we get ready to welcome Honorable Shannon to the stage, let's take a quick look at a clip from a TED Talk that she did some time back.
I was accused of being a gang member. It just happened just a couple years ago. I was already a judge. I took a photo in my lobby, a selfie. I take a lot of selfies these days. If you're old enough, you'll remember a group called KISS. And they used to do the I love you sign in American Sign Language. They stick their tongue out. They became known for it. I think they tried to trademark it. I took a photo like that, I posted online and said something like, "You can't always be so serious." Well, someone took a screenshot of that photo, sent it to the chief of my court, and said, "Judge Frison is throwing up gang signs on Instagram." So, on one cold, snowy day, so many of them in Massachusetts, sitting in the Lawrence Superior Court, preparing for my afternoon motion session, my chief gave me a call and asked me what it was. And she was older than me. I considered that to be something from her era. So I was surprised she didn't know. But I took that opportunity to talk about implicit bias and why someone would think that at about 11 years on the bench, all of a sudden I'm a gang member. After a while, I sent some emails. We had some email exchanges where we talked about bias. That's how I handled those situations. But I haven't always been that direct and that outspoken and this queer and this black. Well, I've always been this black. But at different stages, my own access has been what I would consider tenuous at best. Rewind back to 1994. I was 24 years old. I was joining the Marine Corps. And I was in law school. I went to the officer selection office in Hyattsville, Maryland. The black gunnery sergeant there said, "Shannon, if you are serious about the Judge Advocate program, you need to do something with your hair." What was wrong with my hair? Well, I had starting dreadlocks. I had little baby dreads starting on my hair. Those were not allowed. Neither were braids. So I cut my hair. After that, I had to be physically qualified to go on to active duty. So I went down to the MEPS station in Boston for my physical exam. When I was there, the doctor examining me said, "Have you ever had a problem with homosexuality?" Well, I didn't have any problem with it. So I answered no. I don't think that's what he meant, though. But I did not challenge him any further. A couple years later, I got to the basic school, Marine Corps Basic School. My platoon commander, a white man, probably just a couple years older than me, in my first evaluation, he said, "When I first saw you, I asked myself, who is this person posing as a Marine?" It has not always been the case that I was able to challenge those threats to my access. I am challenging you to challenge conformity, not for personal reasons, Not because you want to wear your hair a certain way or you want to get tattoos, but for altruistic reasons, for all of the rest of us.
Good morning, Honorable Shannon Frison.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having that clip available for me to share with our audience. And I love what you said about conformity, challenging conformity. Um, Before we even ask what you're sipping on, you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Thank you for playing that clip. I have not myself watched it in quite a while, and it's always interesting to see yourself talking about something. And it's really striking just to remember those incidents happening. Um, and the reason I wanted to do that TED Talk, to talk about conformity. And I think it's very apropos right now,
Yes.
where I feel like we're under a cloud where it's just like, be like us or else, be homogeneous or
Mhm.
else.
Right.
And I do think that is is a bad thing. It does not allow us to get the most that we can get from people.
Yeah.
Everyone has something to contribute, and it's not all the same thing.
Yeah.
And those type of interactions where people are, I mean, I was literally called a poser. It wasn't like imposter syndrome. He was saying, who is this person posing as a Marine? All of the things that I was, have been challenged at some point in that way, which is why I call any grasp that we have on power
Yeah.
tenuous, because it can quickly be taken away by your otherness, which is what I've been fighting all my life and continue to
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah. We appreciate that fight. We appreciate that fight.
Thank you.
So before we get into our conversation, you got something in your cup? You sipping on something?
I actually I have a bottle. I have water this morning. This is all I'm sipping on this morning. But usually, I will tell you what I'm usually sipping on if I'm sipping,
Mhm.
which is some type of pure, not many ingredients in it, tequila is
Oh,
what I'm
listen.
normally sipping on. So something like G4 or Pantalones, or those brands, not the popular brands, but
Right.
more pure forms of the drink.
Right. So after the show, I need you to give me a list because
Ooh, I got it for you.
he loves tequila. And the smoother the better. And so certainly
I definitely have a list for you.
she's probably I know she gonna post about it too. Tequila and tea. That's what she's sipping on. So yeah, I look forward to getting that list from you, Honorable Shannon. Hey Natasha, thank you for joining. Come on, bougie tequila purr. Okay. Thank you for joining us, Natasha, dear sister. All right, so let's talk about this book. Let me put it up on the screen for the people to see. Scar tissue, right? Let's
Yes,
talk
thank you.
about this book. This title, right? Is poetic, right? What does it mean to you? And when did you know it was time to tell this story?
So to answer your first question, what does it mean to me, that title?
Mhm.
I think it is, um, showing your vulnerability immediately. Just in the title, you didn't even get into the book yet, but I'm letting you know I've been injured. I have scars. I think just admitting that to people, especially sort of the higher you go, in society, being a lawyer, a Marine, a judge, any of those roles, you're not really supposed to show vulnerability in them. Um, but I wouldn't have written this if I was not going to be honest in it. And so I think that's what it means to me. You know, the vulnerabilities that we have from our injuries. There's so many types of injuries. We have mental, physical, emotional, professional, you know, however they come. And we build up this scar tissue. I mean, I've had physically scar tissue a long time since my first ankle sprain that I talk about in this book. And it the constant reminder when it rains or other things, the pressure in the air that make it sore on that ankle, it reminds me all the time of the injury and how I still became a Marine after that injury and dealt with it while doing very, very physical things and have dealt with it continuously. And what it's taught me about myself and how I need to move and how I need to protect myself. It's the same way with any types of injuries. They're not just injuries. They give you something and they leave you with something that you can use. Um, so that's why that's what the title means to me. When I knew I needed to tell it, you know, I've been thinking about telling it and I've been writing little parts of this for years. So it's not like, it's not a, you know, if you take this book in, know that it's not something that I was like, all right, this weekend I'm gonna put this book out. Let me figure out what chapters I'm gonna have and get this thing written. This is didn't even start as a book. It started as telling of separate things that I've experienced and in different audiences, two different audiences. And there was a a point at which I was on the bench and I got to meet a gentleman, D.L. Hughley, in person, and he talked to me about writing my story, and he actually said that you are doing a disservice to the world if you do not put your story on paper. Um, and I think that made me more serious about bringing it together in one piece. That some of the stuff that I had talked about, written about, and trying to make it a cohesive story about me. So that was maybe 7 years ago that happened, and so it's been a long time in the making.
Yeah. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
its launch. And I shared before we went live. I'm still waiting for the book, y'all. I did order it. It didn't come in time, but don't worry. Shannon is going to read an excerpt from it in a little bit. I'm posting that link in the chat because I want you to support her. Okay? So go ahead and purchase the book. The link is in the chat. Click on that link and support. So, Shannon, you've lived inside some of America's like most disciplined institutions, the military, the courtroom, the law. As a Black lesbian Marine or Black queer Marine, how did you preserve your sense of self in spaces not built for your fullness?
It's a great question, and I think there's so many of those spaces, especially in the United States, and the the places you mentioned, the Marine Corps, the courtroom, they really are some of the most traditional, disciplined, sort of, you know, also very white, very male spaces. So you know that combination can be very um, unfamiliar, not welcoming, and sometimes even hostile to someone who looks and thinks and believes like me. And I think within each of those spaces, it's been my goal to not, you know, come in day one like, hey, we're changing this up, everybody. Um, Take out your erasers. Here's all the stuff we're erasing, and we're going to put in some different stuff. But really, to as quickly as I could see fit to show who I am and how I think about the world You know, what do I think about military law that I was
Mhm.
practicing? What do I think about our processes and why we prosecute people and how? To sort of infiltrate these institutions and more slowly, um, you cannot help but change the way you think if you are around me, because I'm not going to be quiet about what I think, and there may be some stuff you can see on my face without me saying anything. And so I think that's been one of my goals in each of those spaces, to um, not take it over necessarily, but to really diversify those settings so that you're not doing a double take when you
Right.
see me on the bench, or a double take when you pass me on a military base and you have to salute me. You know, that it's not like, oh, I had no idea someone looked like you would be in this position. You know, it's been to be as in it and vocal and visible as I can be
Yeah.
in those spaces, and to try to withstand some of the hits so that the people coming behind me don't get so many of the hits,
Right.
because I may have already told off somebody about talking about my hair, or talking
Right.
about my tattoos, or
Yeah.
saying something that you should not say in mixed company, and just really trying to be someone who is educating people, whether it's literally or just by my presence educating
Mhm.
people.
Yes. Thank you for that. To your point about people doing a double take, right? You don't fit, or when you were on the bench, you didn't fit the aesthetic of what a judge would look like. And I think one a photo of you went kind of viral because of that. Like it just blew up, and that's how I came across it. It blew up on social media, and so many people was like, "Oh my God, she's a judge." Yeah, yeah, I'm tatted. I have a short haircut. This is who I am. This is how I look, and I'm still this person. And so I believe that you just broke so many. I'm going to say glass ceiling, but you opened the door for so many others that are coming behind you to walk fully in their authenticity, right? To bring their whole self to whatever it is in their hands to do, right? Not leaving any parts of themselves outside, not having to fracture themselves. But you have certainly given at least one person, I know it's more than one, the courage to stand up fully, to be proud of themselves, and to walk fully in that authenticity. And so I am so appreciative of that. And I just want to thank you on behalf of all the people that's coming behind you. I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. If you just joined us, we are in conversation with the Honorable Shannon Frison. And if you have a question or a comment, I want to invite you to post it in the chat, and we will be sure to get that question or comment to Honorable Shannon so that she can respond to it before we leave each other today. Hey, sibling, my brother Lucian is on. You just love my. Okay, so he's telling me he loves my background. He's the one that designed my background. So thank you, sibling. Listen, get at him. Get at him. Right. That's another stream of income, sibling. All right. So in the book, you write that some scars became armor, but others became lessons, right? And can you share one of those lessons that still kind of resonates with you today?
Sure. One of the big challenges for I think people who are considered other, that might be because you look different, you are a certain race or ethnicity, a certain orientation, whatever makes you to be considered an other. One of the main challenges is to absorb whatever is coming at you, but still do the work that you are there to do. And so when we talk about, for instance, the clip that you showed from the TED Talk, being um, accused of being a gang member in more than one setting. In one setting that I talk about in here, it's in the course of a trial
Yeah.
that it happened in a military court in Okinawa, and one of the members of the jury asked, uh, was I a gang member? And the incident happened sort of the first day of a trial where in which I was defending a sailor, a black woman who was a sailor and was accused of very serious charges. Um, and so one of the lessons I think that you have to allow is, okay, I am being put upon here, insulted, injured, however it feels to you, but how do I actually put that in a place, but then continue to do the work that you're there to do? I had flown to Japan to represent this woman. It could not end with me just being in a puddle of misery and self-pity because someone insulted me, and even a big insult. I needed to come out of that. I needed to put that somewhere where I could deal with it at different points, but not have it interfere with the work that I was there to do for her. I was there to keep her out of prison, to have her found not guilty of these serious charges, and to literally keep her out of jail. And so, you've got to figure out how to collect yourself so that you do the work that you're there to do, despite what is happening to you in that setting. And I think that's a really hard thing to do. I think it is something that particularly Black folks have to do all the time in different settings. Not everybody's a lawyer doing it in the courtroom. You might be doing it on the operating table. You might do it in the classroom. You might do it on the movie set. You might do it on the basketball court. You might do it wherever you work. And you still have to go through that exercise, and you still have to learn that lesson and figure out how to do your job. So I hope that this book helps people do just that, and not allow the things that come at us to actually keep your contribution from the world, from the person you're representing or there to help, or from the community you're in, or from the country, whatever you're doing. Don't let anybody take your contribution from us in that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And so, speaking of the book, I would love for you to read an excerpt for us from yours.
Sure. That you'd asked me that in advance, and I joked that I don't actually have my copy yet, but I do have my wife's copy. So we had a little bit of a delay in the printing and distribution with Amazon, but people are getting their copies now, and it is hard. Suffice it to say, it is hard to pick a section just to read, sort of randomly. But I think this section gives a little bit of the flavor of the experiences that I discuss in here. And this is I'm going to start this for folks who do have it on page 90. And this is sort of in the middle of a discussion about one of my former clients who was tried for 4 murders in Boston. And this is some review of how I felt going through this trial and what I was experiencing in the trial. So I'm going to start at 90 on one of the days that we were actually in court. My client was brought from Nashua Street Jail each day. In lockup, his father gave him court clothes, and 4 officers walked him into the courtroom, shackled at the hands and feet, chained like an old chain gang prisoner. The only thing he carried was a Bible. I understood the grief of all of the parties involved. But Suffolk Superior left me vulnerable too. Everyone walked through the same front doors: lawyers, defendants, families, judges, witnesses. That meant I was often in elevators with victims' relatives or leaving the building alongside them. Sometimes they followed me to my car, standing to watch as I pulled away. It was unsettling. I lost so much weight during that trial. I joked I was back to my fighting weight. The smallest Marines are the meanest, after all. Flynn drove up from Maryland each week to strategize with me. He stayed in Boston through the whole trial, sat in court each day, and was my second seat in everything but name. Opening statements are always nerve-wracking. They are the jury's first impression to decide how they feel about you and your client, long before the evidence comes in. That first morning, the courtroom was packed with press, families, friends, and onlookers, all waiting to hear why a 21-year-old man was accused of murdering four of his friends in a Dorchester basement. When the judge finally turned to me, my stomach dropped. Sitting at counsel's table, I felt like I would forget my first line, trip on the way up to the podium, or throw up in front of everyone. But just like that kindergarten graduation day, I was prepared. I touched my client's shoulder and stood. At first, all I heard was my breathing. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw his Bible on the table. The prosecutor, now a well-formed enemy in the context of this case, sat waiting. Then the words came. I told the jury who my client was, his life, his family, his aspirations, even his friendship with the boys who died, and why the Commonwealth's version didn't add up. Once again, my nerves slowly disappeared. Throughout the trial, even with his life on the line, my client noticed the small things. For instance, he joked about our matching suits, telling me how sharp we looked together. I made sure his family brought him crisp shirts, fresh ties, and well-fitted suits. We both kept clean haircuts. Even facing 4 life sentences, he had a kind of youthful ease that amazed me. For me, it was a tightrope. I was Black, young, gay, female. I didn't want to be too any of those things in front of a jury. Trials are as much about perception as fact, and I knew they were weighing every detail against my words. The trial stretched over the summer with more than 60 witnesses. In the end, it came down to deliberations. For a brief moment, I believed we had a chance. There was one juror who refused to convict. But then the trial judge fell ill. The administrative judge stepped in. She questioned her about a past domestic violence case in which she was a victim. She had not disclosed on her juror questionnaire, and the judge dismissed her. My stomach dropped. The prosecutor smiled. I'll leave it at that because I'll be reading this whole chapter if I don't.
Listen, I was invested.
You can certainly hear the rest. You can certainly read the rest of it, but I think that gives you a flavor of how it was during that trial.
Yeah. Why did you choose that particular excerpt?
Because this volume, I'll call it a volume 1, because I do plan to do another one that is about, or the rest, the memoirs that is about my time on the bench more so. But this one is largely about my growing up and about my beginnings in the law. And this type of advocacy, representing someone accused of murder in a Boston courtroom on my feet, the only person representing the young man, is really what my early adulthood was all about.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So focusing that Natasha says I was locked in. Hey Jalen. Jalen said I felt like I was in a room. Definitely need to read the full text. Yeah, click on that. Click on that link in the chat, and let's support Honorable Shannon in purchasing her book. There's a wonderful question by Natasha, and I'm going to save it for when we come back from break. So I'm going to take a quick break for you to take a sip of water, Honorable Shannon, and for us to marinate, let the words of that excerpt marinate with us, and we'll be right back with some more conversation with the Honorable Shannon Frison. Hey, y'all. Thank you again for joining us. It's so wonderful to see you hanging out with us all over social media. I see my family. I see my sister, my brother hanging out on Instagram with other folk. Yes, my sister Allison says I was holding on for more. I'm gonna show that the name of the book again, Allie, for you to see when we come back from break. But I want to invite you to connect, follow, like, and subscribe. Please follow us on at Inspire with Sue W on Facebook and on Instagram. If you want to follow me directly, I am Sue A. Webley everywhere. Sue A. Webley everywhere. You can also head over to our website at www.getinspired.live. There you can watch all of our previous episodes, find out a little bit more about the show, and you can subscribe to our newsletter so that you don't miss a thing that's happening with Inspire. If you are someone you know on a mission to create change in your communities, listen, in your life, in the community, we want to hear from you. I want to hang out with you on a future episode of Inspire. Again, you can head over to our website at www.getinspired.live to book your appearance. Once you go to our website, there is a tab that says Be Our Guest. You can fill out that intake form, and a member of our team will get back to you to book your appearance, to set that date. So if it's you or it's someone you know, you believe that you have something or they have something worth sharing that's inspiring, that will encourage and empower our audience, I want to hear from you. As I was saying earlier, Cara Solutions is a full-service digital agency specializing in helping our clients achieve their goals through consulting and training, content and social media management, graphic and web design, live stream production. This, of course, is an example of that. So if you are in the market for any of these services, I invite you to head over to our website at www.cara/solutions.com to book your consultation, or you can email us at info@cara-solutions.com. Now, you know, we do this every single Saturday. We're going to keep doing it until our sibling in community gets a kidney. Yanni needs a kidney donor. She needs a kidney donor today, right? In search of donors who are fairly healthy, blood types A or O, the courage to commit to surgery and save her life. She would love to share the safety measures with you. Alternatively, if you know of an organization, if you know of a resource that she can tap into, please send it. Please send it to us so that we can forward it to her. If you want to reach out to her and her family directly, you can do so at peacepeopleinc@gmail.com. That's peacepeopleinc@gmail.com. Or you can head over to EmeryLivingDonor.org, fill out that survey, and enter her name, Ayana Davis. Listen, I believe that working together, we can help her get the kidney that she so desperately needs. Let's do this thing together in community. All right, we're getting ready to go back to some more conversation with the Honorable Shannon Frison. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you again for joining us. Now, folk are asking for the title of the book. There it is. There is the book. It's Scar Tissue. And Again, I posted that link in the chat. Please, please, please go ahead and purchase a copy of that book. Because yeah, based on that excerpt, I know the whole book is fire. So yeah, go ahead and it sounds like movie material to me. Like I maybe like a little documentary, a little movie. Put it out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we talk about joy a lot in this fire, but before we get to that, I have this wonderful question. Oh, Chuck just ordered the book. Wonderful. Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you.
Listen, look at that. Look at that. Oh, so they want to know, is the book also an audio or will it be uh on audio?
Yes, it will be.
Okay.
It is right now in hard and soft cover. By next week, it should be by ebook as well on Amazon. And then I will let everybody know when the audio version is ready. But there will be an audio book.
Good, good, good. Yeah, keep us up to date so that folk who want the audio version can get that information.
Yes.
Instagram, listen, Instagram is doing the thing. Yes, yes, my brother. Was she in the Marines? Yes, 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 she was. I'm sure you might have a question for her, but this question I want to ask. This is from Natasha. Let's see if I can show it on screen. All right. So um, she asks, as a powerhouse in law, but also a person who sits at three sections of marginalized identities, Black, lesbian, and a woman, what advice do you have for Black queer folks to survive this raggedy administration without killing their personhood? From a law standpoint, protesting, losing freedoms, etc., and a personal standpoint. And yes, it certainly makes sense.
Yes, it definitely makes sense. Natasha, thank you so much for that question. I'm asking myself that every day. Natasha, how do we exist under what is happening? In my personal opinion, something's got to give pretty soon. I don't know what that's going to be, but I don't feel like we can continue at the pace that we're going in this country in this direction that we're going, because it's very violent right now and very destructive right now. In terms of how to get through this with your personhood intact, I think that you we're on overload right now. You can't even look at the news without immediately taking in an overload of nonsense and hatred and just type of stuff. um, and I feel like you at this time we have to definitely choose our battles well. You There is no way to react to every single deprivation of rights, insult, slight, ridiculous thing that's happening. But I think in terms of each person's experience right now, you've got to pick your battle and how you would like to engage in it. And there may be three things that you do. I'm not saying you got to pick one, but don't try to take on everything because it's literally too much for any one person's psyche, including yours, including mine. So I think it's even more important now to focus in on what your network is and what your main sort of thing is that you want to bring about right now. If your main thing is about employment and what's happening in the job market, if your main thing is about healthcare or criminal justice or immigration, pick your battle and figure out sort of how you want to engage so that your energy is directed, because it's easy to be just mad, humiliated right now, and just kind of wallow in that or escape it. And these are things that I think we're all trying to figure out to cope right now. And I believe it will get worse before it gets better. So I want everybody to sort of steel up, because it is going to get worse. And when you talk about your identity, like mine, we've got some of the identities that are most attacked
Yes.
right now in this country, and so it it is important that you keep your family and friends close, that you talk to people about how you're feeling. Don't just have it bottled up. Um, you know, talk to people who are close to you, talk to people who you respect and love and who love you about what's happening. Figure out what sort of political or other actions you want to be involved in, and work hard on them. And one thing that I've tried to do, and you may have experienced this too, all of you who are talking with us today, it's hard to even be who you used to be on social media, because there's this urge to respond to everything on your own social media, right? And you just cannot. Like, you're just it's pointless, one, and you're actually taking away what you contribute to the community when you just like on response mode to all the things that are happening. Even if there is something you want to discuss on there, don't let it get you to the point where you just reacting to the things that the administration is doing, to the things that a particular politician is saying, to different things. You may have seen me talk about Pete Hegseth because as a Marine, I just can't help myself. But
Yeah.
I've even tried in that realm not to just constantly be responding, because some of it's so ridiculous that when you think about it, it really is ridiculous to everybody. So some stuff is like you're stating the obvious, but it takes some discipline to continue to contribute what you want to contribute, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's at work, whether it's at the dinner table. Trying to combat the inclination to be in react mode. You know, we can actually talk about the same things we've always talked about. We can move and push for the same things we always have, and don't let what's going on change who you are and what you're about. Is what how I'm trying to work on it,
Yeah.
Natasha. So it's a work in progress, though. I don't have it figured out.
Oh, thank you for that wonderful response. I think what's happening right now is designed to kind of keep us in react mode.
It's a blitzkrieg.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
those who are service members or who have studied war in any context, you know what a blitzkrieg is. It is an attack from all sides. It is an attack in every way that you can be attacked all at once,
yeah,
so that your ability to defend is lowered. That's what we're going through right now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, Natasha, I'm going to put that on the screen. She said, I needed that because I'm struggling with the swiftness of the cruelty and trying to do everything, even asking for help and trying to respond to everything on social media. Thank you so kindly. I
Yeah, yeah,
received that deeply.
absolutely. Thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you for that wonderful question, and again, thank you for that wonderful response, Honorable Shannon. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about joy. We're kind of winding down our time together. Joy has always been resistance, especially for those those of us, right, who were never meant to thrive out
Yes.
loud. So can you share with us what joy looks like for you, and how do you make space for it amid all of the seriousness that comes with your work in your story?
Yeah, great question, and I'm so glad you talk about joy. Um, it takes me back to the confirmation hearing for Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. She is a classmate of mine from Harvard, and class of '92 is a great, fabulous class of individuals who've done so many great things. And at her confirmation hearing, for folks who watched it, or you can go back and watch it, you'll note, they were just attacking about stuff that's not even really her focus usually.
Mhm.
It sounded like, I often say, it sounded like if I were going through those confirmation hearings, it would have been more appropriate to be asking those questions. But at some point, Cory Booker got up there with her and told her, don't let anyone steal your joy from this day. Basically, you are about to be a first. You are about to do something monumental, And no matter how much they've made you cry on this day, do not let them steal your joy. That was so important in that moment. And I was so glad that he was there to say it to her. And I feel like we all need that person. We all need a little Cory Booker on our shoulders sometimes at work, when you're going to do your interview, when you're going to do your presentation, when you're going to do something which you haven't done before, or a new role, or you're being challenged and you're competing. We all need that, because that joy is what gives you the confidence to go forward and to go up and do everything that you can do. I'm a firm believer that whatever you do, if what you do is bake cookies, I believe you should be baking cookies at the highest level possible. You should be on a television show right now, internationally showing the world how to bake that cookie. Like, do it at the highest level you can do it at, because that is your contribution to us. I want the cookies. I want the best cookies. I don't eat that many cookies. I'm just using an example. But, that whatever you do, if you play basketball, if you play tennis, if you are a singer, if you are a judge, if you're a pediatrician, whatever you do, I think you should be doing it at the highest level possible for yourself and for all of us. Yeah. And so I think that is rooted in your joy in what you do and who you are. And if you let people take that, you won't even be good at what you do in life, and you won't be good to the people around you. And so you've got to protect that joy like nothing else, however you get it. For me, it is always being with my family, and being at peace and having what we need. If I found every day that is the case, I'm joyful. Where I'm with family, we're at peace, and we have what we need. It doesn't really take a whole lot for me. And that keeps me going every day, and keeps me in the fight. So you've got to protect that. Yours may be fishing. That brings me joy too. Yours may be fishing, do it as often as you can, and don't let anyone interrupt it. And then you're always able to come back. It's like the fighter in the ring. If you don't get to go to that corner, you may not make all the rounds that you're supposed to fight in this fight. But when you get to go back to your corner, and your protection is there, and your support is there, and your coach and your trainer and your spouse and whoever is all in your corner there, that's what gives you the ability to go back out and fight another day. And so, I say protect that joy with all that you have, and go to that place as often as you can.
Yeah. Thank you. Natasha says joy is a direct, and that's what it says, to the horror of the administration. Joy has helped us historically survive. And that's
Amen.
Absolutely true, right?
Amen. Absolutely.
That's where those songs have come from.
There you go.
The arts, right? All of the things that we use as resistance.
That's right.
Right?
Right. Yep.
Music and arts and movement. We know how to tap into that for us, as a survival mechanism, right?
That's right.
And again, what's happening in the administration is designed to get us to forget that, right? Mm-hmm. For us to not lean into what we know has historically, helped our ancestors,
sustained
right?
us,
yeah,
sustained us. Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going to ask about self-care, but my brother, who he said he won't hold against you that you're in the Marines, because he says go Army.
That's a whole nother show, because don't let me start talking about the Army. Don't Thank you for your service in the I'm going to say the second best branch. Thank you. Thank you.
Christina says go Navy. Listen, all the
wow. Our taxi. Thank you too.
Oh wow! See, I gotta have all of y'all. But he says this would increase the mental health problems we already have in our formations, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so,
And
so
you're seeing it with
yeah,
the violence. You're
yeah,
seeing it with the random and targeted violence. You're seeing
yeah,
the mental health effects already. Yeah.
yeah. He said we ain't never scared. All right, we gonna have you on. Well, I'm gonna have him on anyway because he has created this whole correct me if I'm wrong, Stephen. This it's a series of videos and music that is specifically focused on mental health in the armed forces, and so we're gonna have him on to share
Love it.
about that.
Love it.
So,
Awesome.
so be ready for that invitation. You better just go ahead and start looking for a Saturday. So as we get ready to wrap up, let's talk about self-care. Can you share one of your go-to self-care practices that helps to bring you back to center?
Sure. There are a few things that I do. I like that terminology, back to center. Sometimes we're stretched so thin, and the experiences kind of we make us lopsided a little bit. We're feeling too much of something, not centered and able to push forward. Um, Going to the places that feel healing to me is one of the things that I do, and there are a few places that I go to, and they are um, immediately affect me
Hmm.
physically and mentally. And one is to where my family is in Mississippi, and I have a home there. And as soon as I pull up, I feel different, and I think differently, and I am calmer about whatever is going on. That is very helpful to me, and the reasons that a place does that for you might be different. This is a place that I feel so much about because it has so much of my family's history embedded in it, but also the history of Black Americans and the work and labor that we put in to states like Mississippi. Um, the reason that it is the most fertile land in the country is because of all the work we put into that land during slavery and
Yeah.
post slavery. Um, and so it has this historical significance that I feel, and a personal significance with my actual family being there and being a part of that. And so I think for each person, you've got to, I think, sort of decide your happy places that feel healing to you. um, and it may be a different place. It may be in the city that you're in or in the town that you're in. It doesn't have to be far. Sometimes it is far, but I think each person has to decide that, and that's one of the things that I do is to go to the places that feel healing.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for joining us today. Tell the people where to find you on the socials and how they can support.
Absolutely. You can support by buying the book. I'm so excited to talk with people who actually read it and want to talk more about the experiences that I put in there and shared. Um, on social media, you can find me at Judge Frison everywhere. You can find me as Attorney Frison, and you can find me at Frison Law Firm as well. But essentially, if you put in Shannon Frison on any of them, you're going to come up with me. And I'm happy to know you and happy to um, walk this journey that we're walking right now. It's a strange one. I don't know where it's leading us to, but I feel like we have to be together in this walk. So link up with me. Let's talk and let's engage about all of this. And thank you so much for talking to me this morning.
Oh yeah. It's been an incredible honor. Thank you for reminding us that scars don't just mark pain, right? They mark power.
That's
Right. And
right.
so, family, those of you who are watching, hey y'all. He thanks you for your service, my brother. He thanks you for your service. Hey, Instagram. Uh, let this conversation today be your reminder that our scars are uh, proof that we made it through. Right. I often say a scar is a reminder that the wound has healed. Right. Um, they are stories, kind of like our skin and our spirits, right? They are stories that they remember. Our skin remembers. Our bodies hold the score, right? Remembers when our mouths can't speak. And as we navigate this moment, right? Again, I mentioned earlier when Black women are being pushed out of workplaces, when truth and integrity are under siege, when authenticity still carries a cost, we must remember that we've carried heavier loads, right, before. And the lesson of scar tissue is that even in the most rigid of systems, we can still create something free. We can still create something free. Go ahead, share this broadcast with someone, even though we're getting ready to end. Still share it with a loved one. Truly, 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 I'm open to your comments and your questions. If you have questions for Honorable Shannon Frison after we end today, please send them, and I will make sure that she receives them so she can respond. Until next time, I want you to stay lifted. I want you to stay motivated, but most of all, I want you to stay inspired. See you again next week.